How do you feel about the state of the Canadian economy?
The state of the economy, I just read the other day that some people are overemployed, and that was actually my situation. I had 3 jobs, and I had to give one of them up because it was just too much for me. And so there's lots of work out there right now. We just bought a house, me and my 2 kids, thank God, and everything's going well for us. We're on the rebound after the shutdowns from COVID, which was very harmful, because people had to put their careers on hold. Some people lost their businesses, or their businesses suffered during that time, and I think that was one of the worst things that could happen to the economy was the lockdown. So that's what we have to avoid in the future, is no more lockdowns.
I'm eating smaller portions because of it, because food is getting expensive, meat is getting expensive, right? And just something that I need to be more cognitive about where I spend my money and on what I spend my money on.
I don't think it's very good. I think we've overspent terribly, particularly through COVID. We've given out so much money to people, trying to spur an economy that was in trouble based on COVID, and we went way too far. And now we've got so many people who refuse to work because they get money from home. People who refuse to take lower paying jobs, and inflation's going up because of the amount of spending that's been going on. So we need to really reel this in and get control of it before it gets control of us.
Oh, absolutely. The Canadian economy is struggling, but so is every other country's economy. Our inflation is high, slightly below the US, slightly below the UK. Throughout all of this, we've managed to maintain jobs. I mean, that's incredible. To go through a pandemic, war, international upset, and there's never been a better time to get a job. Okay, that's the bright side. Obviously, inflation is a problem.
Change is a constant, and without change, you really stagnate. And these kinds of challenges stimulate innovation. They stimulate different kinds of work. I mean, look at COVID. There, been incredible advances in things like that make people's lives better. The options to work at home. Medicine that is, by Zoom, those are all really positive things.
People don't want to work. And if people aren't going to work and sit around and gather unemployment, and I don't know how they're surviving, the economy is going to have problems.
The Canadian economy, while it's recovering a lot from the pandemic, and dealing with things like inflation, and so I think that's just something that we've seen from previous historical trends. Just takes time to level out again. Politicians love to, kind of spout that they specifically have the solution to fix, say, like inflation, but really it has nothing to do with a particular individual. And so it's just something that's going to kind of take time to even out.
I think prices have gone up in everything, especially food and groceries and necessities. So yeah, that is a little stressful and worrisome for everyone.
It's not looking too hopeful right now, just due to a looming recession, but I'm hopeful and believe that we'll, survive this downturn. So relatively hopeful, concerned but hopeful. There you go.
I think obviously inflation is a huge one. The sinking Canadian dollar to the U.S. dollar, and certainly the house prices going up the way starting to head back down the way they are. So
I feel that food and gas is expensive, so I feel like I, as a teacher, find it expensive. So I can't imagine how other people that have other jobs are doing financially.
Oh, there's so much to unpack there. You know what? It's not working for the majority of people. It's really not working, unfortunately. We have a lot of people who can't afford to live these days. So it's becoming an emergency. Like, we need to figure it out. Yeah. Some people are benefiting from it, but others are not able to live comfortably in this country. So
inflation is entirely being shouldered by the consumer, by the average Canadian. Prices are going up, tipping is up, inflation is up, and yet record profits everywhere. It's really not a sustainable situation at the rate that it's going. So I think there needs to be something done.
Wow, really the economy is bad. Everybody's feeling it. The price of gas is going up every day. It's so bad now that it's likely we might enter, it's not just likely, we are going to enter into recession at the end of the day. Likely many people will lose their job and things will be down. People will find it difficult and because of that, there might be a change of government, really.
I know there's always that threat of recession and people are talking about it all the time, but I think that Albertans will pull through.
Very worried about debt, inflation, recession, just like every other Canadian.
I think we're doing all right relative to our G7 peers. You know, we're in the same basket as everybody else, but we're in a better position than they are to come out of it sooner, I hope.
It is a little worrying given the inflation rate and the interest rates being rising. I think we will see quite a number of defaults on mortgages, which will further deepen the crisis. And I guess that's just something we'll have to live with for the next 4 or 5 years as we climb out of the inflation hole.